Gretchen.
Hi, darling.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Fabulous.
Good. So let's talk about a hammock way of life for a minute.
Okay.
Hammock way of life is a metaphor for living the life of your dreams. So tell me what hammock way of life means to you and how your dreams are coming true and what they are and all that.
Dreams. Well, you and I started working together, I would say 4 years ago-ish by now. And I remember it was a group class that we were doing, and I remember seeing it on Facebook and just listening to my intuition and going. And you know, it was a challenge. It was a challenge to put what my inner desires were on paper, and I hadn't yet thought through what I really wanted. So the result of my board demonstrated that. It was more about pictures and pretty things, and as a result, at the end of my first year, I didn't quite get what I wanted. Remember, it was the champagne glasses in the middle of the picture.
Tell that story, because halfway through the year you called and said, "My dreams aren't coming true. What can we do to fix it?"
Yes.
So,
well, I had a lot of champagne that year, but it was actually, remember, it was one hand holding two champagne glasses, and what I was really seeking was love and sharing the champagne with somebody else. And you quickly pointed out, well, hello, you know, did you realize it was one hand all along? And I hadn't. So it was really a learning thing for me to learn about how what you put out there truly comes true. And so after that, what I really loved is that you sort of met with me in the middle of the year, and we took the board apart, right? And
deconstructed it.
We did. We deconstructed it, and that horrified me at first because it was my pretty board and everything was in the right place, and there was, you know, it was beautiful.
It looked like a magazine cover.
Yeah,
if I remember right,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And then we cut things out and we pasted them back and we realigned what the goals were. And I remember doing that set the intention for what was to come. So that was like the first experience that what you see and what you visualize truly comes true. But you have to be careful about what you're visualizing.
Tell me about that.
Well, you know, I think, well, it, you know, stems from the one person and the arm, but, you know, just at various points of things that what you're putting in the center of the board really resonates with what you're most desiring is. And, you know, when it came to finding Chris, you know, the evolution over the last couple of years has been, you know, predominantly about business and growth, and then I've evolved to more of a balance and finding a home life and finding love and family, and so I got pretty serious about putting that love as the center point of my vision, and I really went for it. I mean, you and I were flipping through the magazines, and I was like, yeah, what does Prince Charming look like? I mean, if you're asking, I might as well, you know, put out there what I want. And I found this really handsome man, and he had wavy hair and blue eyes, and I was like, he is the one. And I think it was like 2 months later, maybe 6 weeks, I met Chris, and we met in a bar. Well, it was a Match.com, of course, and we met at a bar, and his hair was kind of shorter, and it was dark. And so we had a really nice time, and then our second date happened, and he picked me up at my house, and we were going on a hike. And we were at the window, and I turned and I looked at him, and I was like, oh, you have blue eyes and curly hair. Oh my goodness. And now we're engaged. You know, so that was a really neat, you know, it's a couple of experiences where the what I had thought in my head, it manifested on the board.
So
Yeah.
can you tell me about one of the items on the board where you said you journaled around it and the steps that you took toward some one thing on the board that's come true, where it didn't just pop up, that you actually looked at it and strategized around something?
Yeah, well, there's lots of those. Mostly around business, because what I journal around is, I've historically journaled around, business goals that I have. And, one of them is my financial goals for my business. I have a pretty good sense, I'm an advisor, so I have a pretty good sense of, where things are going financially. And I remember putting it on there with you, my dollar goal. And then, I don't know if you knew this, but when you left, I'd kind of sit with the board a little bit. And I was like, that's not big enough. So I put a bigger number on there.
Great.
And I think last year I was within $1,000 of that goal. I think probably less than 1,000, but it was so much higher than, I think it was a 25% growth rate, and I was within $1,000. So it's a perfect example where I put it on the board and then I challenged myself to exceed even that. So it was great. Yeah. The board doesn't have a future. There's no timeline of it. So just if you put it out there as something that you would like or that could feasibly happen, then it could come true. Well, when you least expect it.
Great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.